Hello and welcome to the Awesomenauts Invitational Tournament. My name is Bluegill75, captain this match. We have Elite Gaming League versus Team He-Man. Team He-Man has one win so far. They seem to be going for the same layout as before. Same characters, Froggy G, Raylan, and Vinny and Spike. With Elite Gaming League, Raylan, Swiggins, and Clunk. This guy was Lone Star in the last match. He didn't do so well, so he's changing his strategy to see if that helps him better. Let's have a look at what happened here. It's done, snipe, and then tornadoed. First kill for blue team already. Pretty good job there. I'm just working on some key bindings, just trying to stay track on things. I got some keys binded to each character, and I got an instant replay button on my thumb, so if I miss something I can just go back and have a look at it. So looking at what the characters have bought thus far, red team, everyone's mostly got base abilities, and the Raylans have the same thing, so they could do well by focusing on the lanes. So having a fighter and tank that could work well for taking out the assassins, as long as they don't get caught in too many burst attacks. But Vinny and Spike working on lanes, doing a good idea there. And Admiral Swiggins working on some things. Vinny and Spike gets the rubber mask, so whoever gets stuck in his solar cloud, whether it be Awesomenauts or Droid, he gets a little bit of solar. Look here, just working on lanes here. This kind of match, especially with this worm in the bottom lane can take a very, very long time to get control of. It's mostly a stalemate, but Raylan gets taken out by Swiggins. The anchor is something that Swiggins understands very, very well, this player here. So he has a strong advantage over the assassins because being able to trap them, preventing them from escaping. Froggy G does have invulnerability when he does splash attack, but he can still contact things. So even if he's able to get a hold of something, that anchor might get a hold of him. But they did try to get Vinny and Spike, but he was able to stay out of the way just a little bit at the very least. And Raylan on the blue team has boots, so she can take care. So if she needs to escape or if she needs to catch up on lanes, she can do that. And some fighting going on here. Looks like Clunk may or may not get away with this, but ooh, close call there. But Froggy G is quite lethal to take on one by one. Swiggins maybe going back. Things he's going for health regeneration, so he can focus less on grabbing health packs. So that's a good idea to use. So instead of Swiggins taking health packs, Clunk can take that for himself, because with the tank, he's going to have a lot of health later on in the game if he has the items to do that with. Raylan getting some health, going to see if she can get some kills or get some kills on droids. And Vinny and Spike has solar crab burgers, so that works well with the rubber mask. So whoever does get caught in his cloud, that money he gets healed with. So even if it's just droids, they stand careful there. So even if they just stand there, you get your health back just by doing that. So it works quite well for that. And as you can see, it's not a bad amount. He gets 5 or 10 each time. 5 per target on each strike, it seems. 50 health to Raylan there. And Clunk has the Screamer engine. That does snare when you bite someone. So that can work well when... Oh, looks like Froggy G might be getting way... Good planning there. But she does get struck down. Not struck down, but she does get hit by Vinny and Spike. She looks like she has good control of the jungle. I'm just going to take care of that. But if Clunk can get a bite on somebody, it will snare them. It's not very much, 0.6 seconds, but when you couple that with other debuffs such as slow or even the chain, that can be quite devastating. But looks like Clunk tried to get a hit, but he took quite a bit of damage back in return. Froggy G made out no problem. He does have the bite ability, which lets him stay in battles longer. So it does benefit longevity because he can be quite literally a killing machine. as long as he has the build to support that. Just building slowly. Froggy on blue team, he seems to be going for the same strategy as before. Seems like blue team is going for the same builds because that's what seemed to work last time. Now, mind you, red team was doing really well in the lane game. It's just that they got killed off a few times in the last match, so that's something they have to be careful of this time, and especially that snare, and where they have a tank instead of a pusher, where Raylan has a lot of pushing capability already. With stun, or using time rift, either a heavy burst attack, or a slow debuff. So she could stay back and work on the main objective, while these two work on the other Awesomenauts. But then again, these two work together very well, Froggy and Vinny and Spike. So something that this Raylan could focus on as well, just focus on lanes and try to back up her team if possible, as long as she doesn't get too close to the enemy. She seems to have a plan set up right now. She's going for more damage of snipe, so that works. So that helps her get solar faster, when she gets a kill, gets extra solar. Whether it be bots, droids and Awesomenauts. So let's see, Raylan on the red team has a time rift already, so she's using that to her advantage, slowing down droids, or either slowing down the enemy this way. So it looks like a group attack they might be able to get, and they do. They did try to slow down Raylan on blue team, but Vinny and Spike has that burst attack, which can be devastating. And he has extra damage on that spike dive. So by itself, it does 35 and extra 10. That's 4 ticks of health gone in one hit. So that's something you have to be careful for, especially if you're a little bit squishy, like Raylan is, in comparison to the other two. And Admiral Spiggin's taking a little bit of damage, but it's 2-2 right now, 7 minutes in. Hardly any damage on turret so far, but it looks like blue team is getting some control of the lanes. And they do manage to fight them back. It's just a matter of balancing, pushing the lanes, and keeping the enemy off you, or trying to get a kill off the enemy as well. So something to keep in mind. But Clonk is going for a longer snare. Just seems to be... They do have some money, but the problem is, if somebody goes back, that means the other team can give a stronger push, because that would be 2 versus 3. So I think what they're trying to do is trying to kill somebody, and then they could go back. But I tend to disagree with that, because when you kill somebody, that's when you go for the push. So you could reduce that 2 versus 2, but that could be time pushing the lane when you're buying items. So what do you do here? Like, Froggy G seems to just might as well just go buy some items. So I don't disagree with that. Goes for faster speed and regenerating health. Pretty good idea there. It looks like Raylan is taking a little bit of damage. Just be careful of... Well, the anchor is the biggest problem. But he seems to have a strong build, especially from what we saw last match. He has a very good idea of being very aggressive, but also very careful and defensive as well. It looks like Froggy G was taking a little hit, but not too bad now. But droids are picking away at each other. It's half and half right now. It's really just been tug of war, just like last time. These teams are quite evenly matched. Froggy G may or may not be taken out, but swifts through. So during that time when he does a splash attack, he doesn't have to worry about the worm. So you can grab that solar, get some health, get some solar that way. He is falling behind a little bit, but he is 1-1 right now. Raylan has been focusing on the droids more often than not, and Vinny and Spike has 1 kill, and that's about it. Swiggins goes for more damage of the anchor hook. It does more damage, but if he's able to get a damage, or if he's able to get a hit in midair, he gets a bonus for rewarding good aim. Raylan gets a good hit on him. Bit of a group fight going on here. See if anything results, but get the snare and explosion. Does pretty good hits on the assassin, so Clunk seems to be much more comfortable with this character than he was with Lone Star. Looks like Vinny and Spike's going back. Raylan has been taken out. See what happens. Snare, explosion, shot, shot down. So this guy seems to know what he's doing now. So 1-on-1 right now, but 3-2. We're about 10 minutes in right now. Lots of things could still happen. So let's see what items we got. Clear. Anyway, extra attack speed. If you're able to couple with that with slow, that could be a devastating combo. But she's going for the humming droid to help with either back half droids or just land a couple shots at the very least. Clunk's going for faster speed. That's a pretty good idea to catch up with people, get a blight, use that explosion, run up to them, be up in their face. And Blue Froggy G is going for the hammer pants. He seems to be doing the same thing as before, just building towards his splash dash. So while red team has changed their strategy a little bit, blue team appears to be mostly the same. So it may work again, or red team could adapt to the difference of the playing field and take advantage of that. Where they see, like, we made some errors in the last game, how can we improve on that? Some things to consider. Will they make an improvement, or will they try to make different results with the same strategy? So it looks like they're just picking away. Froggy G has been snared again. That droid does do a little bit of damage, but I don't think it does as much as a regular one. 7 damage. I think the ones on AI Station does 8. And you can spawn up to 3 at a time, so when you have them up in a group, it can be pretty devastating. But where the humming droids have been nerfed a little bit is not as much as the regular one. But sometimes just having one is all you really need. But Raylan gets a shot. Froggy G might be able to get away from this if he can time a shot. He does have, yes, he does the splash dash, and he has his ally to back him up. They both get away. Good job on that. They looks like red team is getting some area control. Ooh, just gets away just in time from Clunk's explosion, but she retaliates with snipe. So they back off a little bit, going for more lane control. Red team has the bottom lane right now. And then, so mostly Raylan's just been going back to the jungle. Whenever she needs some health, she can take care of that. I don't think she has a little bit of health regeneration, but that's 70 health you get per minute. So almost 4 ticks of health is regenerated if you can stay out of combat. So that can benefit well for her sniper capabilities. But where she's been picked on quite a bit from the Raylan and the other 2 assassins, it can be hard to get the health back, especially with all these characters that have burst attacks. So something to make note of. Did someone die? Let's have a look here. I'm just trying to keep focused, but Winning Spike does take him out. Let's discuss. Blue Raylan's building on her snipe ability. Not a bad idea. And Invitational Spike is building on his burst. It's not a bad idea. But he has the extra shots, so he does more damage. It's only 20%, but it can build. It can add up to something anyway. So even if you miss 1 shot, you have 1 that does something anyway. Let's see what happens here. That anchor. That anchor is something to be very, very careful of, but Raylan on blue team has 0-3, Froggy 1-1. Winning Spike seems to be doing the best at getting kills so far, but he's more of the hitman. He just comes in, takes the hit, runs out. Where Froggy G can be better suited to being a brawler or just fighting one-on-one. If he can get someone by themselves, that's where he excels. But the matter is, these guys may or may not be ready for them. But they are ahead by a little bit. They have more damage on the turrets than the blue team does. And Swiggins is, again, working on that anchor. So regardless of whether or not the enemy takes any damage from the anchor, if no one's around, they'll still take damage regardless. But we have something interesting here. Clunk is building towards his explosion, which gives him 25 more damage. Oh, looks like taking a little bit of hit, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot now. So if he was just a little bit, if he had just a little bit of health left, that would have done him in, but managed to buy some time for red team anyway to, excuse me, to get some lane control. Lands a nice hit on there again, so that whittles down the assassin that way. Looks like we have some burst attacks happening and trying to catch up with that, but Clunk has that hover ability, so he does have the benefits of outsmarting Froggy. He does have that splash ability, or use Tornado to jump or make your way somewhere quickly, but it can be hard to tell whether somebody lands your shot or not. There is a little tiny bit of ping, but and then again, you may have noticed the platforms up on the topper bit of the level. They're a little bit out of sync, but when someone's in thin air, then I have to assume that they're on that platform. But Clunk is building again towards his explosion damage, so if he's able to land a hit, like right now, 100 damage right there. That's 5 full ticks of health. So that's a pretty big threat for blue team, and looks like they may have a counter plan to that. Going for more damage on the second shot, and how much? So if he can keep Solar with him, he can do more damage on that burst attack. So that's a good counter to Clunk, it seems. And then Rick Raylan is building towards more damage on Snipe. Extra regeneration. Good for just in case Clunk takes the health packs or anything like that. So she has a good idea for fighting the droids, using that blind to either see if someone's around you or just stopping the droids and buying yourself some extra territory that way. But there's a super droid able to help them out a little bit, but usually the super droid just clears the way for you. But Clunk gets an air kill there. Very nice job. Usually at this rate, they're probably going to focus on this turret down here if they can get away anyway. But there's that chain again. Swiggins may or may not. Ooh. He's able to. He seems to have better adjusted to Swiggins' chain anyway, so that's something for Swiggins to think of. How can I further outsmart him? I've been able to get him quite a few times, but what can I do to get a kill? I can trap him for a little while, but he may or may not try to go after me or try to run away. Even if they just run away, that buys you a little bit of time, because this is a Dodo-style game. The primary objective is to push your droids, take out towers, and get to the core and blow it up. So even on games where you have a really, really bad kill streak, it's still possible to get a win. A lot of people don't seem to understand that, but it is nice to get kills, but it's even nicer to prove the other team wrong by winning, even though you have a lower score. But then again, in this match, it looks like red team has more kills and more area control. So they're see where everybody is. Everyone seems to be focusing on the bottom lanes, but it looks like Raylan may be picked off by Raylan. But it looks like Clunk got a kill here. So chain, explosion, bites, boom. Quite literally. Raylan on the blue team has suffered 5 deaths already. That's never a good thing, but it's nothing to beat yourself up over either. But because let's see, we can look at her build and see where she might be going wrong, or maybe just it's Clunk. Maybe he's doing very, very well, much better than he was last time. So that's really good improvement on his part. You really have to commend that. It's great to see somebody learn from their mistakes and improve that way. But right on blue team, she seems to be going for more damage on Snipe, as long as she can get the hit. 2 nimble opponents, that can be hard to do, but however, Raylan on a red team has a nice idea. Let's see, blue Raylan. So she could land some hits as long as she can land. But with Swiggins having the shield, he is prepared for counterattacks. Where am I even going? Live commentary. Let's see, it looks like somebody got taken out here. Have a double look here. So Froggy was able to get Raylan here, and oh yes, tried to get away, but he was ready. So that happened. So I was talking about blind. So that can help you just disorient the assassins that way. Whereas Blue Raylan is having some trouble with her build or her performance. Maybe she's not too used to being sniper. There are a lot of snipers in this tournament so far. Every match has had at least one. But it seems to work for the most part. You just have to understand what plan are you going to go for. That's the big thing. Because even if two people just go for kills, if one person can focus on lanes, that seems to do the job. From what I've seen so far. But Red Raylan is kind of mixing it up. Going for more trapping people in her time rift, doing some damage on that, and then getting a shot if all possible. Like right now, she tried to do it right there, but Froggy G was doing splash dash, so even though he slowed down, he was protected with the water. However, Blue Froggy G is not doing too bad, but they are. Ouch. Let's have a double look at that. I have to just replay that. Try to go after him. That double tagged. Very, very nice on red team, but 10-4 so far, about 20 minutes in. Doing pretty good for red team anyway. But blue team is able to work away at this. They just have to focus on pushing that lane. They could do that. They just have to have a focused plan. They just run all over the place, just try to push the droids. They could go down there and do that instead of focusing on this guys, because blue team is much faster than red team. They could take advantage of picking off droids, then backing off, picking off droids, backing off. Because with the difference of levels, let's see, Froggy G is at the lowest right now. Then again, Raylan has a lot of deaths, but she's been focusing on killing droids, so that's why she's a higher level than Froggy G, even though he has more kills. But, let's see, Swigman takes out Ready and Spike. And Chain. And he's doing pretty good here. I'm just struggling to keep up still, but so Clunk goes back. Does he buy anything? Yes, he does. He's going for extra health on extra max health on Bite anyway. Does that again. Blue Raylan finally gets trying to imitate her opponent, trying to stay competitive anyway. And then attack speed. So that can work. They might. And that was Blue Raylan, wasn't it? So maybe they can come back from this, maybe not. Let's see what they can do. Clunk is having a very, very good run in this match. He's been working on. He is protecting himself a little bit, takes less damage from exploding. But if he's able to land a shot, he can nearly kill somebody. With assassins, they tend to be pretty squishy. Especially, ooh, not a bad hit, but the, oh nice, nice, nice. See, not all hope was lost anyway. Blue team still has that chance, they just have to keep pushing and keep fighting. So if Clunk is able to land that snare, and then he gets his explosion ready, hell, even if Swiggins helps him out by landing a chain on somebody, that's about it. You're dead in seconds. For blue team, we have seen good synergy between Froggy G and Vinny and Spike. It's just a matter of staying together and working on things. And trying to leave Raylan alone, there is that ultimate goal at the very least. That's a kill for the blue team. They're starting to catch up anyway. Froggy G is trying to take down the towers, but you can only do so much by yourself anyway. But he does have to be careful of that, but it's really hard to fight somebody when they have a shot, which is pretty big. But tries to get away, but Swiggin cancels that, so that buys a little bit of time for a red team anyway. So Swiggin has a very, very good understanding, as we have witnessed, using the shield to take less damage. When he thinks he's going to be hit by a burst attack, he drops his anchor and he gets that shield. So he takes 25% less damage. While it may not sound like much, 25% off, say, 80 damage or 100 damage, it makes quite a bit of difference. That could be a difference between life and death. For auto attacks, doesn't make as much of a difference. But it's that little thing that adds up, because you have that anchor to nail someone down with if you need to get away. or if you want to have that shield to beat down people with. As we've seen right there, he's ready for this. He has his plan. For blue team, let's see. Just seeing what they can do. So Froggy has a little bit of diversity. He just have movement speed to catch up with people. I'm not sure if it's entirely necessary or not, but again, as we've seen before, going for a higher splash damage. I tend to use lower cooldown, but then again, I don't play Assassin. I don't play Froggy G very often. I just tend to play as support the most. I tend to do best with Voltar, so that's why I tend to focus so much on lanes, because I have more people or patience in the lanes. That kind of thing. So blue team has been having a lot of trouble keeping their droids out there, because there's a focused effort on red team. So, can the assassins take out the fighter and the tank? Maybe, maybe not, but one of them has that shield, and one of them just has a lot of health. And one of them is just a major pain in the ass. Looks like 2/3 of blue team are down. And Vinian Spike has been going for, let's see what we got. Silence effect. That could be very, very effective, but I wonder if it's too late for that. But he does have more health, so he's able to survive a little bit better. And using that cloud to get away faster if he needs to. So it seems to be more of an offensive attack and a defensive ability. So that's a good plan. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. Might be a little bit late for that. That's just my only quip about it. Blue team does have one turret left, which is about 3/4 down. But if that turret goes down, that shield on top goes down along with it. So that's two ways for red team to come in and try to take out the blue core. This is starting to clog up. I'm just trying to figure out where to put that. So while red team has been staying together, working on things, it's important not to stray too far from your allies anyway, because in case you need some help, they'll be right over to give you a hand. And as we've seen so far, Swiggins has not died yet, which is really good. Clunk has died a few times, but then again, he needs to be in close range to deal tons and tons of damage. Kind of the same for Swiggins, but he has more defensive. He has a more defensive build. And Raylan, as long as she can stay back, she's not been doing a bad job, but she's been mostly focused on droids, and as you can tell, even though Clunk has more kills, she's killed more droids. I think it shows more. Let's have a look here. Solar. So Raylan could go back and get some things, but yeah, you can tell by who's been killing more droids. Looking at their stats, that's interesting. And how many things they've gotten. Have a look at it. Spike, the chain, explosion. He did try to get away from that, but the snipe got him. Fairly interesting. But looks like Clunk got taken out with that snipe. And then, ooh. The live commentary. So 14-7, 2-1. It appears to be at this rate, but blue team is starting to get some control back into enemy territory, but they can't seem to sustain that. They can get a little push, but they're having trouble with endurance. And let's see, Raylan on red team is going for more damage against enemy Awesomenauts, so they're pretty much at the point where, and we're late enough into the game where if you get a kill, you got lots of time to push and take down people. But Raylan may get away, yes. Then Froggy G got taken out. See what happened to him? Again, with the chain. Every time I look back, it's that damn chain. Try to get away, but that jump pad will not save you. Even still. So the Admiral has a good idea. So what? So it just looks like red team has a strong team synergy. I always see at least two of them together, or one person is just picking off scraps. Sorry, blue team, but what I would say for blue team is don't forget about droids. Don't forget about droids. Round back if you need health. But then again, with such strong characters and such a team as this one, it can be a little hard for that. Froggy G on blue team is building towards more damage on the tornado. So that can work well with the movement speed as well, as long as he can stay with people. Then again, when he's using tornado against somebody like Clunk, trying to get bitten, or else you're dead. Then again, Rail on red team has... She did have it anyway, but I believe it was... Yeah. So then again, there's going against the Raylon on the red team, the blind. There's just so many things to consider. I just don't know if this really works, guys. 2/3 of red team were the same, and they seem to have the same build, pretty similar. But one changed, and that probably threw off blue team's plans entirely. So it's a big test on planning on the fly, but it can be really hard to do that, guys. You may go for a supportive build, say for one character, and you have and you got nobody to help you. He tried to get away. Blue Rayon took out red Rayon. Let's see what happened there. Oh, nice shot. So it just seems to be shooting fish in a barrel. It'd be harsh, but almost half an hour in, the time seems to be flying, but so going for more auto attack damage, and they seem to be picking off, oh, nice hits, picking off the red team, but red team's been doing better at laying down kills. Now, if only they can push those lanes back into blue core, because it looks like blue team is getting some control and starting to do a little damage on the red turrets. Not a whole lot, but they're doing pretty good at keeping them back at the very least. So they are able to at least just take down droids. Just don't leave all the work for Raylan, just try to help out a little bit, which is what they have been doing. Just trying to balance it out, because here they come. Droids do get stronger as the fight goes on, and it just tends to add up. All those hits. Ouch. Going against a Clunk with that much damage and that much health, that much damage, together with a snare, it is so hard to fight, try to take down somebody with that, with items like that. So with one member of blue team down, they could go for a push. They seem to have... Oh, hello. Let's see what happened here. So it looked like... Was this a rage quit? Maybe... No, that couldn't have been, because he was moving. Because you have to stay still for a little while to do a rage quit, but it looks like that was a disconnect. Server disconnect or something, but looks like Viridian Spike is hanging on, but he's got mods now. So that sucks. So the way this works is if blue team does not come back, that may go for a loss on their behalf. If they don't come back, they can either do this match again, or they can just take it as a loss. So if blue team takes the loss, then that means we go into round 3. They win on each side. So we'll see what happens here. We'll keep the match going. But I think so. Red team could either just hang around, buy some time for blue team to get back and finish the match, or it's really hard to say. Like, he's going back. There's not a whole lot left to talk about, because it's just little old ring in his plate. These items are taking up most of the screen, aren't they? So let's see, those are bots there. Extra health. So Viridian Spike's been trying, is just trying to fight against that. Because look, even though he was able to get some hits, just trying to get away. And yeah, good idea there. So I think he was thinking, just let's get this done with. It's been half an hour. Matches in Awesomenauts don't tend to be as long as other mobile style games, Zelda style games. Matches in this game tend to last, well, they were 15 to 20 minutes, but with the stats being changed around, it can last about half an hour. So that's about on average. But if you're able to keep a match going for longer than, say, 35 minutes, then you either have a very good match or you have one hell of a stalemate. But one of them was able to come back. I think this goes for a loss for blue team. But so that's all the replays I have on hand at the moment. I'm gonna wait. I'll do more casting once I get more matches come in. I may or may not have someone commentate with me, because I have been improving on commentating. Just I think I did pretty good last time, just where this one took place over half an hour. There's only so much I can talk about, but so this should go into match 3. I will get those videos up once I receive the replays and have commentary either with myself or with somebody else as well. So that's all for this one. Thank you very much for watching.